Welcome back, everybody, to Round 5 Commentary with your boy Sparky. I'm here with my boy Victor. Victor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Sparky. How about yourself?
Well, you look at the deck types here. I've failed you, Victor.
I worked a long work week,
Uh,
easy, and Boros is
you know,
that the ceiling is.
it's tough sometimes.
I mean, the ceiling on the deck is really
But
high, but the floor.
I understand.
Like,
It's the best deck. We'll
I do
see how
think
this goes.
I do think it's the best deck. I think I know some people might be bored at this, but figuring out a good way to beat the mirror, I think is important. And I think these are two relatively very good players from our shop playing the mirror here. So
you'd be hard.
Yeah. Now,
let's see the play patterns and what happens. I mean, it's the best deck playing against the best deck. Sometimes that's just what happens.
Absolutely. And I'll say, I haven't played too much of Energy myself. I'll probably just sell out eventually and play it. It should be interesting. My guess is that there's probably going to be a lot of favoring whoever's on the play. And I have a strong feeling, and I guess we'll see how it plays out, but my guess is that whoever's got a bombardment first might be ahead of the game, but we'll see.
My feelings on this matchup are twofold. I think you want to either be the aggressive deck or you want to be the controlling deck. And you want to stay in your lane. And I think, based off of what we've seen so far, we have Steve being the aggressor with the creature, and Bobby being the controller with the removal spell.
All right, I'm going to untap, upkeep, draw for my
turn. I do think there's going to be a point where you change gears, like you would always do.
Arena of Glory tapped.
But this is one of those things where it's like you got to figure out when to change gears and then do it quickly and then execute.
Oh, hold on. I have to pay the one. My bad.
Well, we've already missed one trigger, so that's a good start. No, just kidding. I definitely see what you're saying. It should be interesting. I did see that Bobby had a pretty decent hand with this follow-up. I'm not sure how I feel about Static Prison, but then again, with how the energy decks don't really use the energy as... What's the word I want to use? I can't think of the word I want to use, but they don't need it to as much to advance their board state. So Bobby could easily just keep that energy to keep the Guided Souls away until he can deal with it later. But I guess we'll find out if it would matter or not if he had that 2 energy.
It's interesting on the sheer fact that Bobby's mana development here is pretty bad. He has Plains and then Arena of Glory. I don't think it's where you want to be at. Looking at his hand, I think he's got 2 discharges, a Bombardment, an Ocelot Pride, and maybe an Ajani, I think it is. It's 2 white cards? No. Maybe that's a Ragavan in the middle.
Oh, that is a Ragavan. Yes, I saw when you were shuffling around.
I think the white card is either an Ajani or or not an Ajani. I think it's also an Ocelot Pride or a Guide of Souls.
I'm surprised that Bobby gave that back because he could have Galv discharged the Spyro. I guess that might have been bad though, because then you're feeling the graveyard.
I'd like to move to beginning of combat.
Yeah, I think getting Steve closer to. I'm blanking on the ability. I'm so sorry, guys.
Mobilize.
No, Flage's ability.
Oh, escape the Flage.
Yeah. Once he's at the precious 6 total with Flage in the yard, things get a little crazy. Ooh.
1 on each, so just confirm.
This is pretty interesting, where he gets to save some energy
on 1 on each here. 1 on the Warriors, so 1-1. Okay. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have. Well, I mean, he kills the creatures, but maybe Bombardment, then Swing, then.
The 1, so that'd be 19.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
He's gonna get rid of the Guide of Souls here, probably.
Galv discharge, pay 1 energy.
100%. I think that's the right call.
I would then like to.
And then here comes an Ocelot Pride.
An Ocelot Pride, and also Yep.
Back Steve's way. It looks like he's got a land. I think it was the Marsh Flats, and maybe another.
It gives him enough.
It's hard to see with the glare. He double sleeved his cards very well.
Sure, you have Marsh Flats.
He also may be flooded, which is very bad in this position.
Go to 18. Sure, 18 it is.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he even pitched 2 lands to the Spyro.
Yeah, he was definitely flooded, so hopefully this is like gonna pull him out of this. I'm interested to see what he chooses to pick off here. I mean, it's easy to say that has 3 toughness, I'm doing 3 damage, let's kill the voice. But I do feel like the Pride is the card that like can run away with the game.
Sure, Flage's escape.
Yeah, left unchecked. I think the Pride is the more problematic card, just for pure incidental value through everything else. You know, it's a cat, so if it's left around and it makes more cats, then a Johnny becomes harder to deal with.
Mm-hmm. I do think there's another Flage from Steve, which is good to see. If this needs to be a land from Bobby here, it looks like it's an Arid Mesa. Oh, it's a Sacred Foundry. Ooh. He does have those pretty arts.
The only thing I feel like is tough is if Steve has another Flage, he almost gets to kill whatever he wants.
This is a no block situation. Steve has to see that it's obvious that there's a Galv discharge here and not do anything.
I don't think he has a. Oh no, he does have a Galv discharge.
Yeah, but like that's the only thing that deals with your Flage here from taking over the game is it getting removed.
But if you have another Flage, then you're gonna go down to 1 energy. Oh, Bobby, I think miscounted there. Yeah, he did, but technically a legal play. He should have 1 energy left.
I had 2 floating. Oh, you took 2. Yes, you're right. Thank you.
Steve was keeping him honest. You can do 6 damage. For the people at home, you can do maximum damage here.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been corrected. That was a legal play. But it's FNM, so if Steve wants to let it go, that's up to him.
Now he draws the Arena of Glory. He needed that last turn.
Yeah. What in the world?
Oh, he's got an Ajani and
use 1 red and 1 for Ajani.
Okay.
Sure, you have a hasty Ajani.
He needs to tap that Plains again.
Okay. Then I will use the other 2 red, or the red 2 for a Seasoned Pyromancer. Sure. Discarding another Flage. Sure. Getting 1 token, right? 1 token. You got it. And drawing 2. Sounds good.
Yeah, there should be another land tapped, right?
Another land tapped.
Combat. You're going to declare attackers. 5? I'll take 5.
Yeah, that's a 5. That's a 5 mana value worth of cards, and he only has 4 mana tapped.
Untap. Upkeep.
I hope this doesn't matter.
Yeah. Now I'm upset at everyone.
Play Ragavan. Yep.
Oh, there's a Ragavan.
Play Goblin Bombardment. Sure.
I feel like this bombardment might be. Oh, actually, it might not be bad. I mean,
I would like
he can't play spells anyway.
That's true.
2 attacking here. Sure. You may declare blockers.
I would put.
No.
I would put stuff on everything.
We'll move the blocks here. Sure. We will put double block on voice. Double block on voice.
I like it. Not great, but I like it.
Thinking.
So, well, I mean, the double block on voice forces Bobby to use a token to kill.
Well, you would assume Bobby
token if he wants it to survive.
Yeah, but you would assume Bobby wants to use the tokens to kill the Ajani, right? And the Ajani is most likely going to flip if this cat goes. So there's some onus where like Bobby could lose his whole board here.
Sack a warrior, hit a Johnny.
Yep.
Sack a second warrior, hit a Johnny.
Yep.
Johnny dies.
And then sack the Ragavan, hit the 2.
Oh, he could do that, and then he's still. Yeah. That's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good play.
Most gone, with the exception of having his voice.
You may proceed.
And it looks like he's just got.
That card isn't great.
The card in his hand is either a Ragavan or Untimely. I think it's a Ragavan.
It's a Ragavan.
Yeah. The tap lane.
There's another Flage.
Luckily.
Combat. Sure. Take 4. 7.
Boom.
I think I would like to see just kill this voice and stop
Yep.
Just dealing with it.
You're not going to gain the life because he's going to sack it, but it's worth.
Voice toast. You want to sack it? I mean, I probably should, right?
Good guy, Steve. Just be an
It
overall
really,
good guy.
really giving him.
You gotta applaud Steve here for his gameplay. I appreciate it. I hope Bobby appreciates it.
Oh, you can't. Doesn't matter. This is so wild.
See, I can't learn that way, so I would have just been like, "Nope, I'm an idiot." I said, "Okay."
Yeah, 100%.
But that's just all personal. That's just based on how you learn, right? You're at FNM. You are here to learn. How you learn is up to you.
Here? Another Spyro. Oh my god!
That's pretty good.
I mean, this is how you win the mirror. You just like make sure your opponent doesn't draw any of their lands, and then just play all of your Spyros when you have no cards in it.
Oh, that's good. At least you know. I guess he's got nothing else. I mean, shields are down anyway. You might as well just.
I'm blocking all day.
Sure.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't beat the Flage anyway. You're good. You got it.
Yeah, and then Flage comes back with haste. GG's game 1. As you can see, folks at home, Steve drew the good cards and didn't stumble on his mana. And I believe he was on the draw there, right?
You know, that's a good question.
No. He was on the play. He played guide.
He was on the play.
Bobby played. Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, okay. So the play mattered a little bit. We'll see where the sideboarding. I see a Wrath of the Skies. I think 2 Celestial Purges and 2 Showdowns, and it looks like 2 Wear Tear. I'm not so sold on the Wear Tears. I don't like Static Prison in the matchup that much because like your opponent's just going to get their threat back to an extent.
Feels with bombardment though.
It does deal with bombardment. Listen, I mean, if that's why you're doing it, I understand. Let me look at my little handy dandy sideboard guide for what.
I was gonna say you're the one with the guide, so you tell me what they're bringing in for each other.
So, I spoke to one of my quote unquote colleagues, Jacob Pablo, on Twitter. I got his sideboard guide. He likes taking out 3 Ragavan and 2 Static Prison and bringing in 2 Showdown, 2 Soul Guide Lantern, and a Celestial Purge for the matchup. He basically says, like, you kind of want to, like, you know, pick your role and follow it. And, like, the key points of delineation are going to be bombardments and flages. If you can set one of those up first, normally you're okay, as long as you can keep things going. He doesn't like Wrath of the Skies. I know there's a lot of people who do. Like, this is a deck that uses energy pretty well, so, like, why not use a good energy card like a board wipe? The problem with Wrath of the Skies is it hits your stuff. So, like...
Yeah, okay. I can agree to that.
It's only good when you're so far behind. If you have any kind of stuff on the board and you're okay losing it, I feel like that's a little rough. Also in the matchup, it's probably very good to hold your Ajani as late as possible because you want to make sure your Ajani flips. Flipping your Ajani in this matchup and then making sure you have a red permanent so that way every time you put a cat in, you're doing damage equal to the number of creatures you control is huge. So that's definitely one of the things that I've really enjoyed. I really like Fable in the matchup because you have the option of choosing what cards you want to draw. Like you get a value of selection where with the problem with Spyro is like you kind of have to discard whatever's in your hand at that point. Sometimes it's actually gas cards, and that's why like you almost have to play like this like conscientious Spyro of like, do I want to discard these cards and possibly draw lands or bad cards that not like after sideboard you really don't have any bad cards in your deck, but like sometimes like having a Thraben Charm or something like clunky like another like creature actually could be pretty beneficial.
Good luck. I'll take the play.
All right.
One of the cards
most of those things.
One of the cards I don't like in the matchup, which is kind of weird, is Ocelot Pride. One, it dies to everything, including any bombardment pinger. And like it's a little bit of a liability, unless you can like put some counters on it and make it big.
Yeah, but if you're the one on the play and you get to go turn 1 Ocelot, keep it online, and then go bombardment, aren't you kind of the one in the driver's seat on that?
This is true, but if your opponent is an intelligent opponent and they have a removal spell like a discharge or whatever, I would almost like want to play the Pride later, where like I can go like guide Pride, get a trigger, get another piece of material, as opposed to just run the Pride out there. That it could just die to like whatever their removal spell is. Like I like Bobby's standpoint here of developing the bombardment and then playing his stuff. I mean, he can get blown out by an opposing Wear Tear or a Thraben Charm, which is in Steve's hand. And I think he's putting Steve to the test here. Like, depending on what this card is or what Steve's looking for, I think I might just, like, if it's a land and I want to hit land drops, I keep it on top. And then, like, I just play my land and I Thraben Charm the bombardment and I ship the turn.
I'll leave that on top. You got it. I'll draw it. Yep.
It's a Flage.
I really hope the mic picked that up. Go ahead.
Ooh, he ships it. Okay.
Draw for two.
Well, I guess you can wait, right? Because I mean, it seems like putting a creature into play with no protection, like for a wear.
I'll put the Flage in the bin.
That's free 99 putting that Flage in the bin.
18 it is. And I'm gonna.
I don't know though. I kind of like the idea of being able to use the Thraben Charm to
Destroy it, right?
Oh, not the Thraben Charm. Sorry, leaving the Flage on top to get the free 3. But I guess if you're gonna try to develop your board.
I think I like shooting your opponent with the 3 damage. I think is negligible here in this matchup because life totals are always going to be fluctuating with like with Guide of Souls on either side or with Flages and stuff. Like unless your opponent's at 12, which is like the Arena of Glory lethal, I don't think you need to worry that much. In retrospect, I really liked Steve's play of like pass. I don't have a dude. He can't use any of his removal, but like. They can't both play the control role because one of them's going to lose doing this. One of them has to make the decision to be the aggressor and play the aggressive role here. Because if they just keep playing draw go in a mid-range matchup, it's just weird. I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying. I think context of your hand obviously reflects it quite a bit. I'm surprised Bobby didn't just blow that up.
I would have snapped off that Wear Tear. Like, just wear it, pass, like, untap, do my thing.
Gonna play an Ocelot Pride. Yep. I will say good.
So he's got, I think he's got Wear Tear, Discharge, Flage, and Wrath Disguise in his hand.
Yep, you got it.
Be interesting to see when he decides to deploy what. Well, you'd have to. Okay, the discharge won't matter because he has to Wear Tear first. Otherwise, there's no point in the discharge. You're just asking to lose the interaction. So,
yeah, this is like an interesting spot where you can, as Steve, he can play a Flage. Ooh.
Pride on the stack. Yep. Tear the bombardment. Go ahead. Johnny? Sure, Johnny's fine. You got it. And then all that's it. I'll pass. Okay.
Oh, Steve didn't have the land here. Okay. Fair. It looks like he's got Flage, Guide of Souls. I can't see the rest of the cards.
Discharge of Johnny. On that one energy.
Yep. All good lines.
Untap. Yep. Upkeep, draw for turn.
That's 2 lands. It's a little rough, but I mean.
Well, I think at this point, Bobby just drew his 5th land. So, like, this is a decent spot to play the Flage.
That is Wrath of Disguise.
Yeah, kill, and then he gets to get in with the.
Flage sack. Yep.
He gets to get in with the Pride for free, and then make more material.
Yep, I'll go to 20. Yep.
And then he has like the trump card rolled up, and then he has the Arena of Glory Flage follow up afterwards, which is huge. It's really going to come down to Steve like hitting his land drops and doing some stuff here to like put himself back in the driver's seat.
I think he might have drawn a Flage there.
He did draw a Flage. I think he's got a Spyro that I think he may want to cash in here. Like, if you have a Flage that you can discard, I think that's fine. Unless you want to Flage this Ocelot Pride, which I also think is a fine play. Oh, I think he's got 2 Flages. Ooh.
Pyromancer's fine. Holy.
Bins both of them.
Yeah, I mean, like, Bobby's excited here, but, like, I think it's going to be big if and when Bobby has, like, some kind of graveyard interaction. I'm not sure. This is specifically why I don't like Ghost Vacuum in this, like sideboard, because it only hits 1 card, where I think Soul Guide Lantern can, like, take a Flage and then get the rest of their yard. I do think it's also relevant in, like, the Prowess matchups a little bit for Soul Guide Lantern and, like, Storm and a couple of these decks that actually care about having, like, a large graveyard or something to choose from.
How many in hand?
3.
Yeah, I mean, if Steve had Guide there, that would have been pretty good. Just nuke Bobby's plan, and then Bobby has to wipe the board potentially, which isn't bad. I mean, it causes a reset, but at that point, you're looking at 3 cards, 4 cards, and to your 1 that would be left in hand after you draw.
He put a Fable in the graveyard. Oh, he's just on the Flage plan. He's just gonna haste a Flage and take out 2 things.
Yeah, I think he could have kept the Fable on top, though. He had plenty of cards. It's not like you can reanimate
I'm
any
gonna
of these
be
things.
honest. I really would have liked the Fable in his hand, but I think because he's possibly on the because he's possibly on a plan where he wants to play Wrath Disguise, he doesn't want that to be a liability. But I like it as a follow-up to the Wrath Disguise.
At that point, I think you just hit the Spyro so that way you don't have to Wrath and lose your own.
Yep.
Well, look at me, I'm right.
Oh, and he can Wrath for 0. He can fetch for white and Wrath for 0.
Oh, yeah. Even better. Go get the planes.
And he gets life total matters. 7 damage. No, he gets it for 10 damage. He puts Steve to 4.
Basic planes.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
Should be more than that. Should be 11 damage.
No, because his cat's gonna die to the 0.
Oh, yep, you're right.
Yeah. So it's a 6 with the Flage, 7 with the Ocelot Pride, and then 3 more from the Flage, which is 10.
Is exerted currently, so I'm just going to isolate this so we don't have issues. All right, I'd like to move to combat.
So what, like just your own Arena of Glory?
I mean, Steve needs it. Yeah, Steve needs his own Arena of Glory here to come back.
Yep, that's correct. So 10, you go to 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, so close to City's Blessing. All right, things we take on a picnic. Show me potato salad. Does he have the Arena?
Land Wrath would also not be bad, except then Bobby gets to... I know he doesn't get to flash it back.
No, he'd be short 1 card.
If Steve has a Wrath and brought it in.
Yeah. What Steve needs is Discharge and Flage right now. And he's still, like, possibly pushing up daisies because he's going to get attacked for 2.
Sure. At my Flage? Sure.
No, okay.
He's going to gain the 3 go to 7. Never mind.
Sure. Untap.
Okay. Steve's still in this.
This stays tapped. Sorry, I'm just confirming. Draw for my turn.
What does he get? Like a Ragavan would be nice here, but I don't think it's normally in the mirror.
Oh, Urge.
Oh. This Flage is going to hurt. The good thing about what Steve could do is he does get to play back-to-back Flages because I think he's got enough cards in his graveyard. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah.
9. Yep. So go ahead. Yep, go for it.
Man, Steve doing everything to keep Bobby off of that 10th. Oh!
It's eternally...
Oh, no.
Oh no! Oh, no!
Oh, boy.
Dear Lord Jeebus.
He doesn't know. I mean, to be fair, you have to do it, right? Like,
you have to. Your opponent's got 1 card left.
That'll put you.
Except, which is even more unfortunate because now.
Hold on. Target the Ocelot Pride.
It's going to be cat. Which one? Untap cat. Sure.
No. So it's always the Pride first.
So we're in the
Actually, because he's not doing that,
I'm gonna tap red white. Celestial Purge the Flage.
The issue here is Steve was looking for the win as opposed to the do not lose.
You got it.
Yeah, but if Steve,
Turn right, I think you get a token.
I don't know if this is his line, but if Steve had done that, then Bobby gets to escape his flage again.
Lord knows you reminded me enough. All right, Michael. So
oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Which I almost think about it. If you have the purge, that would have put Steve to 11. You would have been able to. Oh, he's got enough mana where even if as long as Bobby just draws a card that is of.
If it's a spell he can play that resolves and goes to the graveyard.
Exert, make 2 red. I'm going to leave one of the exerted red floating.
He's going to cast a Spyro.
Oh.
Pyromancer. So Seasoned Pyromancer is going to enter. I still have one of the hasty red in the mana pool. I can spend it on anything, right? If it's on a creature. Okay. ETB trigger.
I think you can only spend it on a creature.
2.
That's a bombardment.
No, I believe. Let me do a little Arena of Glory lookup for you. If the mana is spent on a creature spell, you can cast it for anything.
Okay. He does get a bombardment here. He does get to ascend once he plays the bombardment, which is huge.
Foundry tapped. I'll use my exerted red and a Sacred Foundry to play a Goblin Bombardment.
Bless up.
All right.
Well, I think it's gonna be very. Oh no! Well, Steve on taps.
Shoot the Pride.
So the issue here.
Move to combat.
Not only is it Steve's life total.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see here. Block that. You make 2 cats, so that's 6. Then I go to 1. But I'm forced to block here, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
Steve doing the math for us at home.
Math is for blockers, bro. I didn't do this. You already have Finney's blessing. I believe so.
Yeah.
Because I have 3.
And ironically,
7, 8, 9, 10.
the good part about what's happening here is the Arena of Glory for Bobby is exerted. So if he brings back Flage, he doesn't have haste.
I'll appreciate it.
So Steve will get to untap his Arena of Glory first.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You have to block. If you don't block the Spyro, you could just die.
I'm forced to block here. Okay, so you'll take this. You'll take 1. Yep. You'll go to 7. I'll go to 27. 7.
Yeah, so there'll be 4 creatures in total in play.
To my end step, Ocelot Pride trigger. Yep.
Steve's gonna end up at 3.
Cat, go ahead. Turn. Go for it. That was not what I needed. All right.
I don't know about the concession there. That could be wrong.
Go ahead. Sure.
Yeah, because he could have just brought back. Well.
Whatever he can, if he shoots a creature, it gets sacked to bombardment. He doesn't gain the life.
Yeah, and if he shoots upstairs, it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and they bring back the Flage, put him to 4. Attack. He only has 1 blocker. Yeah, he was dead. I didn't do all the math. Steve was in the game and saw more than I did, which is fine.
Sure.
At least one of us did the math because it wasn't me.
You may declare attackers.
Yeah.
19, 17.
Let's see if he keeps applying the pressure. I think that's fine.
In the end step, I'm going to go to 18 here.
He's going to wear tear. Let's go. Come on.
Was that a statement of fact or?
I have no idea, but I would like him to wear tear.
Okay.
I think it would be okay. He's
No. No wear tear yet.
All right, Surveil trigger. We're going to go Windswept Heath to the bin.
Yeah, I think that's fine. You don't want to draw too many lands here. Folks at
there
home,
you go.
I think, oh, yeah, that's a nice draw. Folks at home, I think Boros Energy can run literally off of 3 lands. You only need the 4th for Flage. So, putting excessive lands and stuff to the bin, especially when you have like the 3rd and 4th land drop covered, I think is right.
Johnny on the stack, I have a fix. I'll tear the Goblin Bombardment. Yep. Johnny resolves.
Interesting to see what the.
Yep. Sure. 18.
Is Steve gonna?
Ooh.
Does he have a discharge to kill the cat to flip?
16. 16 it is.
This is weird.
Oh yeah, Bobby has one on tap, so that could be really bad.
Yeah, there's an easy way this can get blown out, and then there's also
discharge my cat. Discharge your cat.
Hopefully, Bobby.
Sure.
I don't see a discharge in Bobby's hand.
Go up to 4 energy Johnny trigger. That's fine. I will flip the Johnny, sure. And I will make it.
Oof.
No,
you know what's actually crazy
you
is
gotta go. You gotta plus. You have to plus the Ajani there.
Sure. And I have a Guide of Souls trigger to put the counters on it and give it a flying. Okay. So
yeah.
I don't think you have to.
Well, I think you plus because your opponent's going into turn 3, and if they flayed your Ajani, you
really Flage. You're right. Absolutely.
You didn't get anywhere.
No,
it seems dumb. Like, it seems really dumb. Like, because you're not adding to the board state. But, like, once your guy's at 5, your opponent can't go wide against you.
No, you're right. I was thinking, well, he doesn't. If he didn't have the discharge there, which I actually thought about it too. Discharges an opposing discharge is a total blowout because you can just wait for the. I believe it's called a reflexive. No, it's not a reflexive trigger. Just the trigger from a Johnny after the discharge, and you've spent the mana.
Yeah. And then your opponent can just discharge your Johnny.
Up top. All right, untap, upkeep, draw.
What is that red card in Bobby's hand?
Gonna play basic planes. Yep. I will then play an Ajani of my own. Johnny ETB. I'm gonna stack his ETB on top of the God of Souls ETB. Yeah, you know the drill. So I'm gonna basically
wrong cat, buddy.
I'll have 16 life, 2 energy. When I find my Cat Warrior token, just somewhere in this pile.
Go, Lino.
Move to combat and then pass turn to you. Yep, go for it.
All right, so Steve came out of that relatively unscathed. It'll be interesting to see if he can find a red permanent.
Yes. Does he find a bombardment? Is a great permanent here. I don't see it in his hand. I think it's lands and a white card.
Isn't modern fun?
Yes, Bobby, modern is fun. Victor, tell us how fun modern is.
You really want me to tell about how fun modern is?
I mean, I'll give you a nice little 3 or 4 minutes if you want to drop a pipe bomb promo.
13.
You know what? Sure. We talked about it. It's been a long time coming. I think Wizards, and I say this sincerely, as someone who's been playing since 2000,
as someone who's been playing a long time and is a fan of the game,
is a huge fan of the game. I've been very fortunate to play through a lot of different formats, both standard, pioneer, modern, and in many different iterations of them.
Okay.
Energy is probably the closest thing to a pretty good Wrath.
Pause. Pause the promo.
X equals 1. That's bold.
This is
sure.
Big.
You got him for damage already, so he was just getting okay.
And then I won't 0. I'm gonna.
Is he gonna plus this time?
I'm gonna plus it, guys.
My man.
Okay. Thinking about it.
Sounds good.
Energy is probably the worst mistake Wizards has made without a complete dumpster fire, right? Because if you think about it, like Hogak was an example of absolutely way too broken. You guys completely missed the bill, right?
Sure.
And then you learn your lessons each time. Except the problem with energy
Sacred Foundry Rathus, guys.
is that the deck it's almost like a Yu-Gi-Oh set when MH3 came out. Because MH3 basically said, here's Boros Energy, the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, even with the bannings, which to me, we're back to 2 ban lists ago. Because energy is back to being the top dog at what? Almost a 24% of the meta?
According to MTG Goldfish.
According to Goldfish, yeah. And I'm sure top 8 would probably have some supplemental data that would agree with it. There's never been a deck, I think, that has not been so absurdly broken, but so completely synergistic. So many of these cards on their own do so much for very little opportunity cost. I mean, every single one of these cards can be one-man armies, and it doesn't help it that the cards just all go together, whether it's inadvertently or just because they designed it that way. Mm-hmm. And there's really no deck that I feel in this format currently that can deal with it. And other than a lot of times, like playing against it, I feel like the only way that you're really going to have a great chance of winning is that variance takes hold and variance is on your favor. But you and I know laws of averages. Variance is going to have a predictable result in the middle, where even if this deck does its most average stuff, it's very hard for a lot of decks to compete. So that being said, I don't know what Wizards does from here to fix this, because you can't do what happened to Standard with, I believe the set, whatever set, Oko, yeah, Thrones of Eldraine, thank you, Thrones of Eldraine, and then Theros Beyond Death, right? Because what happens is you power creep so far past what the problem is that you then make this broken thing where that breaks the game, and then you have to just go ban a bunch of stuff. I know bans aren't always good for formats, and I understand that. I know a lot of people are talking about, well, just unban stuff. Some people have brought that up on Friday. There's nothing that you could unban safely that doesn't fix that problem without breaking something else completely. So you're kind of doomed there, right? Because if you let the most vicious offenders on the ban list out, you're just going to let those things be the best. And then you've only just made it so that the devil that you don't know is worse than the devil that you did. You can't then make another set that says, hey, we're going to print a bunch of cards that just help super push another deck, because then you're back to where you're at. So I'm not sure what Wizards does to kind of make it so that this isn't just energy versus the world. And I know that's asking a lot. And I'm not saying that I have the answer, which is why I'm not, coming at Wizards in the sense of like they just totally blew it. But I do think that there is a problem that doesn't get any better for a while. We have this modern season, which, we talked about through the breach being the problem last season. Now it's going to be energy again.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and there's less tools.
I don't mean to cut you off probably mid-thought here, but what I am going to say is I do think there is a line where some cards can come off. Cards that would be good against energy, Uazama's Jitte, Fury, stuff like that. Stuff that's going to hate on aggressive decks. I think Fury almost is like one of those ones that can just come off, and we could see like maybe
but here's the problem with those
mid-range decks trying to deal with this.
That's like when Boseiju came out when Tron was doing well, and everyone said, oh, Boseiju kills Tron, except everyone forgot that then Tron just started, Mono Green Tron just started using Boseiju to advance their game plan too. So you're giving them tools for them to also just be better, as well as trying to hate them out.
No, I agree. It looks like, Steve flooded out in this game, and sometimes that's just what happens. Kind of unfortunate. I mean, I hope he has like something going on.
I am going to Thraben's Charm exile your graveyard. Good games.
Yeah. It cuts it all off from all the ways.
Yeah, that's just what happens, and sometimes it's just like that. Again, safe cards. Maybe there's some safe cards that can come off. Maybe there aren't. But what are we to say? This is the modern format that we're living in. And we just have to accept it for right now. Hopefully things change. Maybe they unban something with the next announcement, make something spicy. But we know there's not going to be any ban announcements for Modern until like September, October, November, maybe. I don't know. Probably before the RC. Hopefully that would be something big. But that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you for your opinion, Victor. Thank you for always helping out, and thank you for sitting through this. We appreciate you. And we appreciate you all at home. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to leave it to the guys to talk it out. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell. And if you'd like to support us, you could find us at our Bonfire store.
And a huge thank you to our sponsors, Nova Games and Brick, for hosting us for FNM. And please make sure to use our Mana Traders coupon code OCHM at sign up for 25% off your third month.
I've been Sparky. Say goodbye, Victor.
Goodbye, Victor.